Okay, I'm going to talk today about the kind of video I used to hate. I'm going to leave a link in the information section so you can have a quick look at it yourself. And there's things about this video which I'm kind of like uneasy about in some respects, but this is the kind of thing I would normally laugh about. But on the other hand, there's still something which could possibly be seen as being positive associated with this. I mean, there's lots of mixed messages, and depending upon your particular interpretation of where you're coming from, you could see this in lots of different ways. The video is entitled "The Ouija Board Really Works!" exclamation mark. And so essentially the title kind of like attracted me to it, as in, oh crikey, what's this one going to be about now, if you know what I mean, okay? Because you know my point of view about the ideomotor effects and the fact that there's questions to be asked about the results you get or apparent results that you get, rather than necessarily any hard and fast answers. But some people sort of like say, well, yeah, there is a hard and fast answer, it is whatever I tell you it is, and that kind of like muddies the water as to what could possibly be real. Now, this one particular video is about this guy. He's, when he's a kid, he's being abused by his alcoholic, drunken father. He's a bit alienated, he's damaged, and all the rest of that. He plays around with this Ouija board, takes it up to his room, has some strange experiences, has the experience of a presence around and about. Eventually, he gets sort of like more strange experiences, and then goes to meet a guy who happens to be a practicing Satanist who apparently blesses him, okay? And this guy thinks that he's now being demon possessed, and so he's full of all kinds of like nasty stuff, and he's really relishing in this. His experiences get more and more intense, and then eventually he gets some kind of release as a result of being blessed and being prayed over in the church community. And this is quite interesting in some respects, because he's talking about one form of strange experience being transformed into another form of strange experience as he progresses through the journey of his life. And eventually, he starts to feel loved, wanted, respected. There's a good sense about him. He starts to settle down with someone, builds like a really good, wholesome life. And I think that's actually quite an interesting story. I mean, on one particular level, no, I don't think I could agree with him that the Ouija board really works, nor could I agree with him that the Satanist priest was actually demon possessing him, because I think, again, there's too many questions there and not enough answers, although there is some kind of strange experience that you can get as a result of spiritual healing exercises, which I have experienced and I've helped other people to experience as well. So there's again questions to be asked. Was there some kind of really like sick twisted thinking that the Satanist priest in inverted commas actually did to this one particular person? Possibly, but also possibly not. Maybe it was just like the whole atmosphere and ambience of places with like black candles and red candles and sulfurous incense or whatever the hell they had, that actually made the whole thing seem demonic. But I actually think that there isn't really necessarily such a thing as demons as in terms of evil spirits. It's more a question of like sick thinking. Whether it's sick thinking in a body or outside of a body, it's still just sick thinking, if you get my drift. Alright? So maybe the guy, as a result of his bad experiences when he was being mistreated by his alcoholic father, developed some sick thinking himself, which kind of like reached a peak when he was going through the experience of being within this like little coven that was being built up around this satanic leader, if you get my drift, okay? And then, hey presto, he couldn't handle that anymore. He then went to a different environment and started to feel a different emotion, namely that of love and being loved and being able to be compassionate towards other people. So from a personal journey side of things, it's more to do with, I mean, if you're looking at it from a psychological point of view, it's a person coping with his past, coping with what's happened to him, trying to reach a level of perspective and eventually reaching a level of forgiveness and understanding and tolerance and acceptance and love and compassion and being more balanced and basically being kind of like healed. But it's being dressed up in this manner that's trying to that's been written to try and make people terrified of the Ouija board and terrified of demons and terrified of Satanism, which I think is slightly mental. But there are groups within, let's say, Christianity who are like that. I heard this story recently of these fundamentalist Christians who were working in an office environment, and they were trying to exorcise demons out of the photocopier because the photocopier wasn't working and that sort of thing. Which is, of course, mental. I mean, the best way of exorcising a demon out of a photocopier is, of course, to get a photocopier repairman to come and repair the photocopiers. And then, hey presto, as if by magic, the effect of the evil demons will sort of like go without necessarily having to sacrifice goats or whatever it is that they wanted to do, or burn white candles Yeah, I mean, when my camera doesn't work, I seriously don't say, "In the name of Jesus, work! God damn you!" You know, I mean, I think that would be mental, to be quite honest. Either way, have a look at this one particular video, and I want you to see whether you see in it the journey of a person going through healing, or whether you see a person struggling with demons, or whether you see a person coming to Jesus, or whether you see some kind of evil propaganda, because those are some of the different possible interpretations that one could place on this one particular video. And I'm kind of like choosing to see it as being about a journey of personal healing being acted out through being a part of different theological organizations. And that's the way it just appears to me.